Okay, well, it's been so long. What do I do now? Okay. Uh, Sorry I'm late. Lala has a big gig tomorrow, and we got trapped getting the last thing for her big gig for quite a while at Staples, but we made it home. I plugged in the laptop, got it going on time, and the battery died. So now it's plugged in, and we're going. Um, and what I wanted to do is share with all of you kind of what's been going on so that you can understand where we are and the things we're involved in, and just tell you a little bit about us. I don't know if Falala will be able to come out or not. She is still preparing for her big gig tomorrow, which is a big one. Anyway, so we decided to take August off. She is starting her um, entertainment artistry business, which is balloons and face painting and decorations and ornamentation and all that stuff for gigs. And she's already landing big gigs. So this is going to be a very successful career for her. And I'm very, very happy for her. And she's doing well, and she'll be back here soon. She's the one that told me we needed to get up off of it and get going. And she was right. Okay, so throughout the month of August, I began working on several things, uh, uh, including disclosure and other things. And then in September, things really heated up. I got to go to the pre-hearing party where Danny and a bunch of others were, including people that I won't name, that were witnesses, and so forth and so on. And it was really, really interesting, and I learned a lot. One of the best things that happened there is I got to meet famous scientists that are doing really good work, and some of them wanted to work with Skywatcher, so I put them in touch with that, Dr. Julia. And then I got interested in things that the Skywatcher people were doing, and Skywatcher's changing in that James left to go his own way. And as you can tell, the psionics people are now talking out, and including really well-known ones like Michael Batista. Oh my goodness, Julie's been dealing with shingles. I'm sorry, Julie. I'll pray for you. Okay, so Michael Batista, as many of you may know, went on Ross Coulthart last night. Was before then, but it was released last night by Ross. And Michael has given me all of his videos, and I'm going to try my hand at processing them in a different way than others have. So really good people are working on it. I'm going to work on it independently, and in the end, we'll probably compare notes and put things together. But I can tell you why it took so long. The 4 videos, you can't see much. You watch them beginning to end, and you don't know what's there, because you see some stuff and you go, so what? I don't know. Anyway, so I began doing the normal kind of processing that people like us do on these videos, like I did for Chris Bledsoe and a bunch of others. And what was found was there were startling things in these videos. Startling. And I'm going to tell you, some of them you may remember seeing things that looked like they had very muscular legs and big muscular upper bodies and a wand-like thing in his right hand. That has been seen before by Grant Cameron and others that attended these powwows on Mount Shasta and went into the Zendra, and it is identical to that non-human intelligence. Okay, so that is really interesting. So Michael and I have been conferring today, and I have his videos, and I'm going to work on them. All right. So Reed Summers held a recent space, but before that, Reed and I got together in Huntsville at the SCU meeting, and we're going to do some collaboration, and I'm going to attend virtually or there a conference where we talk about the things I've been working on, which some of you may know about, which I'll tell you more of, is the tech for helping people do observations. And it's coming along really well now. I mean, I got the airplane rejector working. The satellite rejector is downloading all the orbital elements from NORAD and running the code and seeing which satellites are visible. But I tell you what, it's really been kind of useful. I'm outside and I'm looking up now and it's dusk. But tonight it'll get dark enough. It's going to be a little cloudy, but never mind. I will still see Starlink satellites go overhead constantly. They look like little craft going across the sky, and they are craft. They're satellites in orbit. And within 2 hours of sunset and up to 2 hours before sunrise, they are illuminated by the sun while we are in the dark, and they're easily seen. And somebody who's not familiar with any of this is going to go, hey, that must be an alien UFO. And it's not. So I got an app together that will tell you, here are the things that are like satellites and so forth that are up there. Don't mistake them for a UFO. And the ultimate goal is to build a augmented reality app for your phone. So you can hold your camera up to the sky and you'll point it at some object you think is interesting, and it'll tell you whether or not it's an airplane or a satellite or an astronomical object. So the astronomical objects, they're much easier. Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, etc., Moon, whatever. Bright stars like Sirius, so forth and so on. You'll be able to tell it's not something necessarily interesting. Now, this is not going to be perfect because all military airplanes that are doing interesting work turn their ADS-B off so you can't easily track them. So anyway, there you go. So it's just a thing that I've been working on, and it's coming together. So I also began doing a ton of 3D printing, and wow, is that really come so far. It's the gear is inexpensive, much cheaper than, say, a fancy camera or a fancy piece of tech. And then you buy a $20 spool of filament, you plug in the program that they give you, you download a model that you can find all over the place, and you go print, and boom, the thing prints. Now, there are ups and downs from all of that, and you need to learn stuff. So I'm at the end of my learning process. I'm ready to do some real stuff, and I've done some real stuff. When I really got real, I began printing things that would enhance my telescope so it would be easier to take pictures and better pictures and longer pictures, make it transportable and so forth. So that's really good. And this 3D printing stuff, I have both a filament printer and a rosin printer, and they're both really good, and they're not that expensive. A few $100, $300 or $400 for each of them, and then out of that you can put things together and you can sell them. You sell 10 of your outputs and you've paid for the thing. So now I see why printer farms are popular, because you can print 20 things and you've paid for your printer, and after that everything is supplies and profit. Okay, all right, now I also have worked on an embedded process for an Arduino Nano Every. And this is a little processor that's in a lot of your gadgets. And I'm building a gadget. And the gadget will be useful to both paranormal and UFO people. It's going to have detectors, alarms, and all this other stuff, and you can carry it into the field. Think of all that stuff that Zach Bagans takes into the field. Well, they charge way too much money for that. Just let me give you a hint. The computer that will run the whole thing, the Arduino Nano Every, is $7. The sensors you plug into it to make it, say, a REM pod or an electromagnetic thing, they're $8 each. And I have the code running, typed out and ready to run, then simulating it, and now I've got to build the hardware to put it all together, and it'll be an ugly prototype. It'll look like a computer with wires running all over the place to sensors, and then all of that has to be put together so it'll be on a circuit board, and the circuit board will have to be done well enough to reject external noise and interference, and the box it goes in needs to do the same. So that ought to be ready about Christmas, and maybe I'll be able to afford a Christmas present for myself by selling those things. Anyway, they're going to be cheap. They're not going to be as expensive as the other people are charging, because what they're charging is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, all right. So let's see. Lala she has 4 gigs this weekend. Artistic decoration for a birthday party. 2 of them. One of them is a person who is ill, and this is almost surely his last birthday. Really tough. And then another one is a 60-year-old man whose son passed away 4 years ago, and she thinks that this is something more than just a birthday party, because she keeps getting whispers in her ear. As you know, she does those kinds of things. And so now let's get back to stuff all of us are interested in, not just me telling you about what I've been doing. Lala and I have been dreaming for a while, and there's a consistent theme to these dreams. These dreams are climate and weather, etc., ugly events. And what can you do? I mean, weather's weather, climate's climate. What can you do? Well, then our visitor, as Whitley would call him, came back and began talking to her and told her that she was to be an aerokineticist. And I went, what? Aerokineticist. Now, I don't know how many of you know Lala or talk to her or whatever. That is not the kind of word she would use. And so I had to look it up. So I'm not knocking her. I had to look. I had no clue. But you will have heard of it when I tell you what it's colloquially called and known to kind of paranormal or ancient history people. It's an airbender. And so the orders given are work hard, become meditative, conscientious, and learn together how to work as a team to do airbending, and then teach others. So, I'm not going to teach people how to do CE5. You got people all over the place doing CE5. And I'm not going to teach people to do remote viewing. These are people all over doing remote viewing. But together, the 2 of us are going to try to learn how to do it. And I believe in my heart that she can do it. And that's because when we were first getting to know each other, she could move things with her mind. She could do the bend spoons, cause things to twirl in your hand, like a crystal on the end of a chain, that kind of thing. She could do that stuff at will. And the first time I met her in person, she said, okay, hold this. And she closed her eyes and turned away, told me to think about moving it in one way or another. And I did. And she was not looking. So it began moving one way, and I told her to go the other way, and it went the other way. And she said it was going this way and then went that way. So this all kind of makes sense. And what I think, what I got a download, and is if we can teach enough people to do this and turn it into something useful, in several years, there'll be enough people to make a difference to the climate. And maybe I'm wrong, but we've got our orders and we're going to do it because it's an interesting thing. It's a psi talent. I think it's needed. Man, let me tell you what, I'm going to turn this mess off because it is just not working. And I don't care about it anyway. Okay. There, that's better. And that's the house behind me. And okay, let me do that. We don't need any of this. Okay, so that's the house behind us, the camera that takes all the pictures. The light is on, and now I see what was lighting up the thing. Let me turn a slightly different way. So yeah, this way. All right, so that light behind me was causing the disc to blow up. Now it's not blowing up because now my shiny dome is going. Anyway, so we're going to work on this kinetic manipulation of atmospheric events and see what happens. Maybe we'll fail, but we can't know until we try. So there's that. She is beginning to have people ask her for readings again after not having done it for a while. So for whatever reason, that seems to be of interest. But it's really funky when these entities reach out to us and ask us to do things. That's our visitor that reaches out and asks us to do things. And we say, think about it. Do we want to do it? Consult, pray, ask for guidance, talk to guides, etc., ancestors, whatever. And then we make a decision. And then we say yes or no, and they go with it. And they help. Believe you me, they help. All this evidence we get around here all the time is because we said yes to helping with soft disclosure. And it's still happening. I mean, she's gotten some really odd things here lately in the sky, and so have I. So anyway, it's interesting. So I'm still doing the work with Skywatcher, now working with Michael Batista on his videos. I talk regularly to John Blitz and Jake Barber, etc. And we're trying to figure out where to go from here. I understand that there's analysis being done on the videos from round 1 and round 2, and that round 3 is in the planning, and there'll be more work before it's in the can. And so, but I'm going to tell you, look, if Michael Batista in 2022 and 2023 was getting craft to come down with non-human intelligence inside and interact with them, and now we have evidence for it, it'll get even better now with better equipment. I mean, it just will. We'll be able to detect it for all sorts of stuff, and with their permission, we'll do that kind of stuff. So it's just going to be interesting. It's a beautiful fall evening. Lala's got flowers out everywhere here. There's her raised beds with her flowers. She's got a green thumb. Hang on a minute, I just unplugged my charger and I don't want the battery to die. Okay. This magnetic clip on my MacBook comes out easily, and I probably stepped on it and pulled it out. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to begin having shows again. And we'll be lining up guests, talking people into coming on. If you've got a story and you want to be a guest, let us know. Interact with Lala or me, and we'll figure out how to do it. So this is our announcement that we are not in bad shape. There's nothing wrong with us. We took a month off and then got way busy. So I have multiple job offers that would require me to move. I'm going to try to do something that won't require me to move. One is in California, and you get the idea. It's just, I have things that people want done, and they're finding that everybody and their brother's going into artificial intelligence and economics and so forth, and people who would do embedded programming and do mathematical analysis and so forth and so on and are otherwise a polymath, they're very few available, and they're needed by lots of people. So I'm polishing my curriculum vitae and trying to find consulting work that will do what I want, as well as I have 2 books in the works. We'll see how it goes. All right, folks, thank you for coming by. This was not a regular program. This was me showing our face and you seeing the back of our house. And that all that evidence that we keep showing, that little $40 camera right over my bald head is what gets it all. And I'll put up, we're going to have a show where we go through all of our evidence. And the one that I like a lot is where an orb comes down very fast and the camera sees it and it triggers it. It hits the deck right below me here with a thump. And then as the thump, it begins to glow very, very bright to the point where the camera lens is nearly overloaded. And then you see an energy shape, a humanoid shaped energy. And then you notice it has reached up and grabbed that camera and turned it until it's pointing where it points now. And over the top of that house, over the top of that house with the lights on is where the camera points. And what we see over the top of that house is wild, day or night. My favorite day one is the camera got triggered. We don't know how, but right below the date and time, there was a flash. And it looked like it had a shape. It only lasted a second, but it had a shape. So we zoomed in and we go, whoa. Zoomed in again, and it looked like a mummy. It was a humanoid wrapped up in gauze. It looked exactly like a mummy. We'll be showing you that and showing you the energy being moving our camera to where it wanted us to point. And then I've enhanced our electronic voice phenomenon when we first moved into the home. And you can hear it say as clear as day now that I've enhanced the audio. I haven't changed it. I've just made it easier to hear. It says, thump, 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 move around, turn on the light. Whatever it was, turned on the light. The camera went from night mode to day mode. You can see a little something move, and all of a sudden you hear, hello, Xander. And Xander is Lala and Dave's child. Dave passed away, as many of you may know. And both of them tell me that that was Dave's voice. And he was doing his playful banter with Xander. And that was right after we moved in here. And I think it was a message to Xander and Lala that Dave's here. And so we have a little honorary corner in our room for where we put his picture and other stuff. And since then, we've had no poltergeist activity to speak of. So it's really strange. Okay, listen, thank you everybody for coming. And this was very informal. We decided to do it together quickly to tell you we're okay. And we're not going anywhere. So there you go. And with that, I'm going to say good evening and tell you how much we appreciate all of you. And we really have missed you, and we're glad to be back. There'll be a show next week.